Good morning, everybody. Today is April 7th, 2025. It is a Monday. We're back to work today. It's been a pretty chill day so far. I'm gonna wipe this all down. So I woke up at 9 till about 10. I played, what's that game called? Schedule 1. Schedule 1. And then I went down and I prepped to make chicken. Chicken. How do you spell chicken? Make. That is actually illegible. Chicken. Okay, yeah, and then I prepped to make chicken, and then till about, like, probably 11:15, I was cooking chicken. 11:25, make salad. Okay, so I made Caesar salads for me and Anna. That's what the chicken was for. So I prepped half the chicken, cooked it, cut it, and then put the other half in the freezer for when I want to do it again. Made the salads, and then till about 12:45, we watched originals. We got interrupted with a call from our friend, so we were like, let's do that. And then I went downstairs after the originals episode and cleaned up the kitchen. Put away all the dishes till it was to like 12:55 dishes, and I called Corey till like 1. Call Corey. So my little brother Corey, he took a flight this morning. Like he left at like 3 a.m. and went to the Boise airport. And then Corey flew out to go pick up our brother's car in Washington. He's driving it back, so he's gonna buy it out in full, do like a car loan for it, which is crazy. But yeah, so he was doing that, and then I was just seeing how the drive was going. He was like, "Yeah, bro, driving for like an hour and a half, listening to Dune audiobook, as he should be." And so yeah, has anything else particular and interesting happened today? Think it. How do I say that the internet is so divided? How do I say that the way the algorithms work on all social media platforms is really interesting because it literally fine tunes your thoughts and beliefs and gives you recommendations based on that. And it's really interesting that there's like a couple different sides of every social media where literally any thoughts can be shared, right? And so it's like you have massive groups of people just going like saying one thing, and then you go to the other side and it's the same group of people, like peers, saying completely different things, and they all think the whole world thinks the same thing they do because they only get recommended these channels. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Like no one in my purview, very few people like cross reference, and when they do cross reference, it's like big YouTuber and big YouTuber cross reference each other's like comments and everything, and like pseudo look into each other's like like following in a way, and it's like it's so weird that the following doesn't interact with each other and like get to know each other's thoughts and like things they've researched and stuff, but it's sort of just like you hear about it from this person and then talk about it on that person's platform in that person's comment section. And I understand that like I'm obviously working to be a YouTuber, but it's so strange. It is so strange. So yeah, I was just looking into that a little bit deeper today while I was making chicken while I was just cooking, and I was like, what the heck? And then anyways, I looked into my car part for like 10 minutes, car part research, and now I'm making video log. So yeah, other goals for the day. I already brushed my teeth. Got my pearly whites. And then other goals for the day are to organize my laundry. I need to call this order back and fill them in on them. We're not going to be able to take the tip. Need to do a load of laundry. I started that, and then I need to take out the trash, and that's all I got going on for the day. I had written order a car part, but my mechanic literally just said it'll be better for us to just take out the car part, bring it to a shop, have them get you a new one, and then go put it back in. So we'll figure that out. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got prepped for the day. When I do that, I'm probably just going to edit and upload some video logs while I play Schedule 1. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Monday, and I'll see you in the evening.
One eternity later.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Today is April 7th, 2025. It is a Sunday. One of these days, I will get the intro right. It's Monday. It's Monday. April 7th, Monday. Today's actually been a pretty solid day. So when did I make my video log? I made the video log around 1. That was pretty sick. No, wait. What is that? Oh, man. When did I make the video log? 1:20. So been 9 hours since then. Pretty sick. Yeah, so right after I got off the video log, I edited and uploaded 2 video logs, and then I was playing some Risk because new maps dropped yesterday that I didn't get a chance to play. And then after I was done with that, I was like, okay, I'm chilling now. I got all my stuff done. I literally only had to call this $50 tip order, so I was like, I'll just do that at work. So I played some CS:GO until work. 3:20 CS:GO. Okay, cool. CS:GO, and then yeah, it was pretty chill day. Carter came and picked us up early because it was raining and our car's been having those issues with the coolant. So we were like, we don't want to drive it to work, and we don't want to bike in the rain. So he offered to drive us. So he came and picked us up. That was pretty cool of him. And then he drove us to go get coffee. So Anna wanted a coffee before work, so we got that. Went to work, and then we got there at like exactly 3:45. So I got to clock in early too. And then work was actually good. It had been real. She said it was steady all day, and then there was a reservation for a table of 10 at 6 o'clock that I actually completely forgot about. Edward came in and like was like, "Oh, this," and I was like, "Oh, crazy!" It was like 5:45, so I set it up really quick, and then they were really cool. It ended up being like I think it ended up being 13 or 14 people, which whatever doesn't make a difference. Um, yeah, so that was a fun table, honestly. Gratuity ended up being like $29, and then there was a $9 tip, an 80 cent tip, a 207 tip, and a $5 tip. So 9, 14, 1607, 1687 in tips. So I made like $40 off that table. 45. That's crazy. Yep, almost could have been. Yeah, about $45. That's nice. And then yeah, other than that, it wasn't really super busy. I ended up making $95, which was crazy. And then yeah, and it was like it wasn't busy at all, even once. And Corey came by at like 7, and he had his car, so we like went out. And we're like, oh, car, that's crazy. He was picking up our brother's car. He was like showing us around. He was like, yeah, I think I need to get it detailed. And I was like, okay, big baller, okay. And yeah, so he's parked outside right now. It's pretty sick, dude. Um, yeah, it's cool. It's really really cool. I was like, I'll probably give him a ride to get some food tomorrow and just take his car just because I want to. And then yeah, other than that, not much to go on today. So goals that I did do: did brush my teeth, did make a morning vlog, delete. Did not do yard work today. I was like, I woke up late, and then yeah, I needed to cook in the morning, so I didn't do yard work. And then did do meal prep. We had chicken Caesar salad, and then did organize my laundry. Did call that order that tip 50, and then we weren't able to do it. So Edward refigured that. Did one load of laundry. Had my clean work shirt. I did take out the trash, and then I looked, and then I'm gonna mark this as a tentatively done because we didn't order a car part. We planned for fix. So I'm gonna amend that because we didn't order the part, but I have the plan. I have a plan to schedule the fix up. So yeah, that'll be sick. And then now I'm home. I'm chilling. Probably just gonna play some Schedule One before bed. Honestly, I talked to my buddy Dylan today. He has his computer, and I was like, dude, you gotta download Schedule One. Like, we gotta get our world going, dude. It is so fun, dude. It is so fun. And so yeah, goals for tomorrow are to brush the teeth, make the morning vlog, do yard work, safety as always. I need to schedule the car work with our mechanic tomorrow. I need to wish Daniel a happy birthday. I need to edit and upload the vlogs, and I'll write the amount. I need to schedule a tax meeting, and then I need to think of I thought of a new video content idea of doing top 10 issues for the average American in 2025 so far in 2025, and just having being kind of a I think about it in the sense of in fairy tale there was like the 12 wizard saints. Wait, was it the 12 fairy tale wizard saints? How many were there? There was 10 wizard saints. Okay, perfect. I think about it in like the sense that there's like 10 wizard saints, right? So there's 10 people, and they're given this wizard saint status, and so they're known their powers to be so immense that they're well round across like the whole continent, right? Like everyone knows about the wizard saints. But at the very top, there's 4 gods of Ishgar, and it's like that's kind of how it is for America. Like there's 10 of the most important things for American people, but the 4 gods of Ishgar, like the 4 main issues, are lack of opportunity, financial instability, um, misinformation, and there's one more, and it has to do with like ignorance or like I don't really know how to explain it yet, but it's like the like no one forms their own opinions from facts anymore. It's always forming an opinion from an opinion that someone else formed from presumably from a fact. And so the issue is people used to share opinions in the tertiary sense. So a journalist would go out and they would get a fact, and then they would write an opinion piece on that fact. Someone would read the opinion piece and share their opinion. So we have fact, opinion, opinion. This is a tertiary bit of knowledge. So now we have YouTubers and streamers, and I'm guilty of it too. Journalist goes out, sees a fact, makes opinion. YouTuber or streamer shares that opinion. They hear about this opinion from this journalist, and then they share their opinion. So in this video, the YouTube video that this streamer or YouTuber has made is a tertiary piece of information. It's a tertiary opinion. So now it's being shared to the consumer, and now we're reaching the fourth level of opinion. So it's an opinion based on an opinion based on an opinion piece that's written based on fact. So now the further away we get from the fact, the more the misinformation is prevalent because it's just so obvious, right? And so I'm trying to think about how to express those things, and then also talking about, you know, grocery prices, like talking about all the things that people are like up in arms about. It's like half of America wants a car market crash. Half of America can't stand it. Half of America wants a housing crash. Half of America can't stand it. Half of America wants people to have no credit cards. The other half of America relies on them. There's so many issues. And at the very end of the video, I'm going to have an outro where it's like, I hope every single American who's watching this understands I did not mention gay, trans, or race once. They are prevalent to the individuals who suffer under them. They are not prevalent to the day-to-day life of the average American. It actually doesn't matter that much. And I don't know how to say it like confidently and positively, and just be like, guys, if it's not in the top 10, why are we smacking that nail with the hammer so much? It doesn't like actually matter all that much. If we solved trans, gay, and racial rights, if we solved it, if everyone was equal, if every single person was perfectly equal and accepted within society, it doesn't matter if none of them can afford a home. It doesn't matter if none of them have job opportunity that actually can grow. It doesn't matter if wages are stagnant. It doesn't matter if they'll never own anything. Right? It doesn't matter. If the issue is solved, there's 10 bigger issues at least right behind it that make it negligible. And yet we're sitting here striking it and striking it and striking it. Gay, trans, race, women, men. It doesn't matter if none of us can own a home. It doesn't matter if none of us can afford to turn the lights off. It doesn't matter if none of us can afford heating. It genuinely doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to a 75-year-old who's in a nursing home and they have no next of kin, they have no family, and they're about to completely run out of funds. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I don't know how to express to people, if you're not fighting for things in the top 10, it's almost negligible. So I'm going to have to figure out how to say that nicely. But this is the life of a politician. And I know that if I don't say it nicely, someone's going to be like, oh yeah, this guy fucking hates gay people. Like, oh man, dude, come on. I don't care. I don't care. I hate economic vampires that cause people like me and my peers to have to garden in order to afford produce in the future. Like, I hate that. I hate that there's a high possibility that I'll have to go to a food bank one day. Like, I hate that. If I could solve that issue, I would solve it before anything to do with what media talks about 10 times out of 10 times. Because if every single American, guaranteed for the rest of the future of America, never once has to go to a food bank, the benefit of that will benefit so many more people than all these other issues we talk about. It just, everything pales in comparison to the top 10 issues. And obviously, I don't even think 10 is enough. Like, there's probably 15 or so main issues that people really, really struggle with. And I have to talk about them. So, because who else is talking about them, right? So, yeah, shouldering the burden, man. Shouldering the burden. This whole presidency, thus far, these last 4 months, 5 months, gosh, dude, it's been 5 months, has just been shouldering the burden. December through April has just been shouldering the burden. And, like, obviously, it's a burden I place on myself. But the burden the burden that I carry on my shoulders today is nothing compared to the burden I'll carry on my shoulders in 39 years. And I think about it a lot. It's just like, if that guy looked back at me, would he be proud? It's like that's the greatest judge I have if I'm doing all right. And it's like, he would have wanted me to do more. And like, yeah, enjoy life. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it while you have it. Enjoy it while you can, really. But if you're going to look back and be disappointed, it's just not worth it. Whatever I'm doing is not worth it. If I don't care enough, if the Lorax is disappointed in me because I'm not the one who cares a whole awful lot, and then things don't get better, what's the point? It's like I've given myself this mission, this vendetta of like why I get up in the morning, you know, and people don't really get it, like how seriously I take it. And this will be my daily thought actually, because I've already talked about that video enough. This will be my daily thought. I was talking with my business partners. They came into Canton, and I was serving them, and we were talking about immigration. We were talking about tariffs, and we were talking about things. And so I realized just how ignorant people can be, even learned people. Like, they're intelligent. They're not stupid, but they can be ignorant to the issue. And so they're sitting there talking about tariffs and just the rhetoric they use of like, oh, we're losing on tariffs. Like, we're getting taxed on all these things. And it's like, how do I explain to people that we are an importing company, an import country? We don't have a lot of exports. So we don't have a lot of industry to protect. Like, we're using protectionist tools to protect things that don't exist yet. And they're sitting there going, oh, in the future, it'll be great. And it's like, dude, how far in the future? Like, we don't have an actual plan in place. And then he goes, oh, well, they're building that chip factory in Georgia. They're building a chip factory. And I'm like, yeah, but that was Joe Biden. Like, that was the one thing Biden did, was the CHIPS Act that allowed that plant to be built. And then one of Donald Trump's executive orders ixnayed the CHIPS Act. Obviously temporarily. They're going to, eventually the executive order won't matter. But it's like he blocked the CHIPS Act, and they're still contractually obligated to build the chip factory. But if the CHIPS Act doesn't come back into play, they can't build chips. And I literally was like, talking good or bad on Joe Biden doesn't work. It's the only thing he really did. Like, it's the one thing he did was the CHIPS Act. That's the one thing that, like, really did anything. And then, like, you're sitting and it's like, dude, Donald, like you say, the chip factory. Donald Trump is trying to stop it. Don't sit here and tell me, oh, industry. He blocked the CHIPS Act. Like, bro. And then he's sitting there going, well, yeah, but they have 2 million illegal immigrants receiving social security checks, and they haven't paid in for 4 years. And I was like, where did you hear that? Like, you know these people? And he was like, no. And I felt kind of bad because I did like the rude politician thing of like, you know these people? You've seen these things? Like, who are they? Right? And so he was like, I don't know, I just heard it. So he pulls it up, and it's Elon Musk talking about over 2 million illegal immigrants were given social security numbers by the Biden administration. And I'm sitting here going, understand that's a good thing. Like, given a social security number does not make you a citizen, it makes you able to pay taxes. So they're paying taxes, Medicare, and into social security. So they're paying now into America because they live here, dude. Whether they're legal or illegal, they live here. So now they're documented illegal immigrants, and they pay taxes, they pay Social Security, and they pay Medicare. And he's sitting there going, "Well, are they gonna collect a Social Security check?" And I'm like, "Are they gonna retire, dude? Do you know a retired illegal immigrant? No, that doesn't happen. They pay in, they pay in, they pay in. The only reason an illegal immigrant pays into Social Security, because if they get citizenship, they can pay out during retirement. And if they don't get citizenship and they die, that money can pay out to their kids or their spouse to take care of their kids more accurately with the survivor's benefits. Like that's what paying into Social Security as an illegal immigrant does. That's a net positive. And I'm sitting here like, I can't believe I have to explain this to a 40-year-old. And it kind of made me realize, like, when it comes to political things like this, I'm a step above. And not in like I say that like so egotistically, but it's like I have power here. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be president in the future. I have to know these things. I have to know these things. These aren't things I've heard. Like, I look at this stuff. I read this stuff. This makes sense to me. From a leadership perspective, this makes sense. It's fair. They're paying for your Medicare, dude. They're paying for your roads to be built, just as you are. And then he said something that blew my mind, and I was like, okay, so we're ignorant. He said, well, just because they have Social Security numbers doesn't mean they're going to pay taxes. Doesn't mean they're going to pay into Social Security. What, are they going to opt out? They're just going to choose not to? What? Like, did you opt into Social Security? Dude, it just comes out. Like, I've seen the pay stubs. I was shown one 3 months ago. Like, I've seen the pay stubs. Like, it's the same as every other W-2 employment. Just pulls out. You don't sit there and go, oh man, I actually don't want to pay into my Social Security. Can I just not pay for Social Security and Medicare? No, you have to. Like, it just comes out. It just comes out. There is no opt out of Social Security. They're gonna pay it, bro. And so it was just really interesting to just be like, you think they have a choice? Like, I wasn't given a choice. You weren't given a choice. No one's given a choice. It just happens. And I thought it was just a very ignorant blunder and very interesting. So I'm kind of still reeling from that of just like, wow. I don't really realize how much more educated I've become in the last 4 or 5 months. Like, I really pay attention to these things and I really care about them deeply. And it's just really strange that I can have such different views from my neighbor. It's a really weird world we live in. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you all had a wonderful Monday. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Have a good night.